It's a hit, it's the rage. Harrisburg, you're on stage at the Camp Hill Shopping Mall. Come on in and be a part of all the fun.
Bring the kids.
There's something new for everyone, and it's there for the fun of it all. So come on, everyone, and be part of the fun at the Camp Hill Shopping Mall.
I've seen a lot of malls throughout the country in different states, and this is one of the best I've seen.
It's fabulous. Beautiful.
The grand opening of Easttown Mall today could be described simply by
Fantastic.
bigger, better, best. Now those three words can be exchanged for Easttown Mall. Today's opening ceremonies marked one of the happiest gala events ever to hit Knoxville. By noon, over 25,000 shoppers had come to partake in the gala events. By closing tonight, 100,000 are expected. At 9:30 a.m. this morning, the ribbon-cutting ceremony was graced by dignitaries from Knoxville and Disneyland alike. Thousands of balloons were released in the mall amid thousands of smiling faces.
Well, it's something we've needed in East Knoxville for a long time. We won't have to get mixed up in that West Knoxville congested traffic anymore.
There was a jail made out of Coke cans, some of Tennessee's largest butterflies, and plenty of giveaways. In a mall with over 1 million square feet of shopping space, 93 shops and 10 restaurants serving everything from corn dogs to Chinese, opening day was an overwhelming success. However, the day was not without problems, as witnessed by this broken escalator. Whether you have a shopping list full of goodies or just a healthy curiosity, come out and get caught up in Easttown Mall's excitement. For TV6 Eyewitness News Tonight, I'm May-Kay Beeler.
Welcome to the Disney Store. A special place filled with fun, laughter, excitement, and even a little magic. Think of your first Disney memory. Chances are you still remember your very first Walt Disney film. Remember the joy you felt visiting a Disney theme park. There's a reason you have such positive Disney memories. It's because most of you were once the guest of the Walt Disney Company, a company dedicated to exceeding your expectations. We roll out the red carpet, put the accent on entertainment, give you value and quality, and most of all, make you feel special.
Hi, welcome to the Disney Store.
And now, as a cast member at a Disney store, you get to bring that same magic to others in your own hometown.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Stores. By now, I'm sure you're all aware that you've joined a very exciting specialty retail concept. What you might not be so much aware of is a little bit about the history of the Disney stores. So what I thought I'd do is tell you a little bit about how things began and why I think we've become the success we are today. The first store opened in March of 1987. Glendale, California is right next door to our Burbank headquarters, and we decided to open in Glendale because it was so close we could keep an eye on the store. Coincidentally, it opened the day after Michael Eisner and Frank Wells signed the agreement for a year at Disneyland. They literally flew all night back to be there for the store opening. Now, I was a nervous wreck the night before we opened the store, and I couldn't sleep. So I got up at about 7 o'clock in the morning and my wife and I got in the car and drove to Glendale. We got to the mall about 8 o'clock in the morning, and I kept thinking, what am I going to do if no one shows up? Well, at about 8:30, we walked down the mall, cup of coffee in hand, and we saw the biggest crowd I've ever seen in my life. They were there 2 hours before the store opened, and the crowds have never stopped since. People have asked me numerous times, what has been the key to our success? And I think the simple answer is, we're more than just a store. What we've done with the Disney stores is go back to the roots of the Walt Disney Company, the things that made Disneyland great, the things that Walt Disney himself stood for. Great guest service, providing an entertaining environment, making people smile. And we've taken those things and married them with the best of specialty retail concepts to create something completely new, which is called the Disney stores. Let me give you some examples of things we've done in the stores that you're going to be working in that retail professionals told us we were crazy to try. First of all, the large video screen in the back of the store. We use that screen to show sing-alongs and other videos to really entertain people and bring them into the store and create a Disney environment. Well, when we first started the stores, other retailers told us we were out of our minds because that happens to be some of the best retail real estate space in the store. Another example would be our animated window in the front of the store. When you walk through a mall, you'll see every other retailer uses their front windows to display their sale merchandise or their current most hot product. We, on the other hand, don't have any merchandise in our animated window. And time again, I've had people, consultants and other retailers tell me, why don't you change that window? You could sell so much more product. But to us, that isn't the point. Just as our animated films like Beauty and the Beast are more than cartoons, and our theme parks are much more than amusement parks, the Disney store is much more than just a store. And I hope you always remember that the most important thing that we can do is have cast members who are friendly and courteous. Because to the guests that walk into our stores, you are the Walt Disney Company.
I love working for the Disney stores, but it's not just that. Just being a part of such an incredible company, I think, is very exciting.
I like the total atmosphere and the people and the excitement that goes on every day.
My favorite time probably is when one kid came in and he decided he wanted to help me do everything that I was going to do because he wanted to be just like me.
Turn up the lights, we're taking a bow. It's our time to shine, just look at us now.
Everett Mall is all new with over 150 stores and Eat Street, Everett Mall's fabulous new food court. Play Spot the Stars to win a Hollywood vacation during Everett Mall's grand introduction, Saturday, May 21st.
A grand introduction. Everett Mall.
Lake Forest presents a 3D event. Lake Forest, a new dimension in gift giving. The 3D marketing event was one in which the entire family could participate and enjoy. The goal was to present a selection of gift ideas to the customer in a way which was exciting as well as entertaining. The two-day event captured the attention of the customer and created a sense of excitement throughout the center. Free gift wrapping was offered, and over 300 gifts were wrapped. Customers registered to win free 3D sweatshirts. Drawings were held every hour in an effort to keep customers in the center during the event. Free 3D glasses and special 3D handouts featuring gift suggestions for dads, grads, and brides were given to customers. A 3D booth provided customers with a chance to view all of the 3D printed material and giveaways. Since the focus of the event was on gifts, the highlight of the weekend was the 3D gift show. Gifts for brides and grooms, gifts for dads, and gifts for graduates were featured. The show was a family affair. The array of gifts were selected from over 30 Lake Forest merchants. Merchants also became involved in the event as they wore the 3D glasses and buttons. Even the Lake Forest staff caught the 3D fever, as all of the cleaning, maintenance, and information desk personnel wore the special 3D sweatshirts. The kiosk displays also tied into the flight. They featured gifts and the 3D posters, glasses, and buttons. As a special attraction, members of the business panel videotaped customers experiencing the 3D effect. Children especially loved seeing themselves in the glasses on the video monitor. The Lake Forest event was truly a new dimension in shopping and gift giving.
Large groups of unsupervised kids have a knack for finding trouble. Trouble was bad enough at the Fort Worth Town Center in June of '91 that all kids under 17 were banned from the place unless they were with an adult. Times have changed, for the better. Just ask the people who shop here.
Mom, it's really calmed down.
I don't feel alarmed or intimidated in any way.
The kids are no longer banned. What's new is the number of people watching them. 14 security cameras sweep the outside and the inside of the mall.
Just looking for anything that should happen out there.
Much more obvious to the kids are the security patrols. They're everywhere.
They watch for disorderly conduct. It's not allowed at Fort Worth Town Center. Loud, boisterous activities, no.
There are 20 in-house security officers. There are 21 off-duty Fort Worth police officers. There are citizens on patrol, and there is even a Fort Worth police storefront right in the mall behind the blue neon. The strategy?
Combat things as they happen and try to get it prior to their occurring instead of waiting until after the fact.
Last summer, the mall management decided they didn't want gang members hanging out here. Ever since then, any person in obvious gang colors or clothing is escorted off the premises. According to the general manager, all the effort is paying off. Incidence reports are down by 80%, and sales are up in the major stores by 18%. Being watchful is working. Marion Connor, Texas News 5.
You're watching Sleepcore. Pleasant dreams.
Fun, food, and fashion, right here at Peru Mall, Route 251 and 38th Street, Peru.
This is the way we live now. Nice even temperature, no rain, no snow, no loud noises, music is playing. Everything's perfect in the mall. Even if you're one of the few people who've never been inside a shopping mall, you can't help knowing they're here. 25 years ago, they weren't here. Today, they're everywhere. What used to be farms or woods or country crossroads have become malls. They ring every city in the country in great concentric circles. We found it in a suburb of Kansas City, on the Kansas side of the Missouri River, in the community of Overland Park. This is how it used to look around Overland Park, Kansas. The rural life was satisfying enough, but some of the people who lived here wanted something else. They started speaking of growth, development, progress. And 7 years ago, a part of Kansas that looked like this was transformed into this. It's called Oak Park Mall. And it's an awfully good place to start if you want to see what this country is becoming. Oak Park Mall, you might say, is a symbol of how far we've come. This program is an attempt to think about it before we've gone the full distance. What did we give up to get this roof over our heads? Are we happy among the potted plants and muzak? What does it mean when a community becomes a mall?
There are some people I have met that hate malls. Aberration is the most common word I've heard. I wouldn't shop in that aberration, whatever that means. And they don't. I have people who I have never seen in a shopping center. I've got friends of mine that will not shop in any mall no matter what.
But it's getting harder and harder for shoppers to stay away from Oak Park Mall, to tell you the truth, because downtown Overland Park, the community's original shopping center, 2 miles from the mall, isn't what it used to be. Some merchants, such as Lee Bowman, are just trying to hang on until retirement.
Yes, it's going to the malls. Young people want to shop where young people go. And they want to see the new stuff. They want to see more of everything. It isn't that they want to buy more, they want to see more. The only people basically that will come to this type of an area are referrals and people who have been accustomed to this type of a shopping center. They don't like the malls.
I think they miss that calling them by their first name thing as they come through the door. You know, maybe touching them on the shoulder. You know, just a little human warmth display. You know, I'm really glad to see you kind of a thing. And we really do mean that. We really are glad to see them. You know, after a while, it's not just, well, here's another customer so I can ring the cash register. Well, here comes Joe, and I know him, and I know a little bit about his family, and I've shared a little bit of my life with him, and it becomes a friendship, as well as repeat, you know, business. The only thing that keeps a small store like ours alive, repeat customers.
Years ago, it happened to the little mom and pop with a small grocery. He's gone. These small appliance people, it's gone. The old way of life is gone. And people are not, well, let's face real facts. People are not really concerned about you as an individual, whether or not you make a living or whether or not you do good. That's not their interest at all. So consequently, you're just going to have to take what happens, and that's what's happening.
I think we've just got to be entertained with something special, you know, out of the ordinary. And it just doesn't get it anymore to sit around, you know, and talk. There's got to be something else going on.
The corner drugstore is gone. And a lot of times, young people will meet other young people. Boys will meet girls at the shopping center, and that has taken the place of the corner drugstore. And most of these, 95 to 99% of the youngsters behave themselves and are very cooperative. You only have maybe a 1% that causes all your problems, and those are the people that we have to watch out for.
Shop out here, but they got a right to shop out here without listening to your selection of music. Appreciate it if you turn it off.
everything's always the same at the mall. I mean, you have the same temperature, and the air smells the same all the time, and the scenery is the same. They even try, like, to bring in trees and something that's green, but like right now, that's false. That's not real. But if you come here during the winter, those leaves are still going to be green, and outside, the trees are going to be bare. It's always the same. When I walk around here by myself, I feel independent, and I feel in control because I know I'm not afraid of anything here. It's real easy. But like, if I were to walk around downtown by myself, I'd feel really small, and I'd feel kind of afraid. Just because it seems so, I don't know, it's the oldness of it. Like here, everything's brand new and fresh and bright, and there it's kind of drab and dirty and old, and it's nice to come somewhere like this that's pleasant.
We're getting caught up in the convenience thing, that we're not spending enough time, that we're losing a lot that the generations before us did. I mean, there's something to walking in the rain and going shopping outside. There's some kind of flair to that. I don't know. It seems like we're losing a lot of the culture of the previous pastimes. And I disagree that the downtown is old and run down and dirty and filthy, because it's not true. It is in some parts, but then people out here tend to generalize that the whole downtown is that way from the stereotypes they've gotten of the downtown.
I know the culture's down there, but I know you can't really get that much culture from a shopping mall, but it's here and it's convenient, and I feel that they're safe. I mean, I can come here and really have a good time with my friends and know that, that somebody's not going to come up to me and try to attack me, and I can't go downtown and actually say that I'm not going to walk down the streets and something's going to happen to me.
I feel pretty secure up here. I don't think anything would ever happen to me. My mom thinks that bad things go on up here and that stuff like that, but there's really nothing wrong with it.
Maybe I'm wrong. Won't you tell me if I'm coming on too strong? This heart of mine has been hurt before. This time I wanna be sure. I've been waiting.
Melissa's my baby, and you have them such a short time underneath your wing, and to love and nurture them, and it seems just like all of a sudden they don't need you as much, and they're on their own. My husband always told me that I really had to let go of the older girl, but I guess I treated her the same way. She has to go and do things. They have to grow up.
This is Pam Rainey, 15 years old. Her best friend is Melissa Casey, 14. Pam and Melissa attend school across the street from Oak Park Mall, and they come to the mall almost every day.
To be with you in the daytime.
Oak Park is where they work, play, shop, hang out. Pam and Melissa call themselves mall rats.
97 should change. Thank you. Have a nice day.
It feels like it's partially my mall, because I work up there and I know at least one person who works in every store. It makes me feel like I'm part of the place, I'm part of Oak Park Mall because I'm here so much, and I work here, and I know so many people. It makes me feel like I'm just part of the place.
Like this.
It makes you feel like you have more freedom in your mall, I guess you could say, because like when you're home, there's always your mom in the other room, or, someone calling you, or something like that, It's a place to get away from everything and shop and do some things for yourself. I spend more time at the mall than I do at my house.
The problems we suffer, I feel, are primarily one of we lack a sense of community. We have our little developments, but as such, there really isn't an Overland Park. There used to be an Overland Park. It's beautiful and wonderful to look out and see nothing but acres of new homes and shiny cars and modern shopping centers and every convenience you can imagine. But it's disheartening not to be able to find a group of people that has the community feeling.
No, I never longed for the good old days. That's not thinking ahead. That's not being progressive.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
These are the good old days.
Could you come and pick me up?